Alright, hi guys, today I'm going to continue my Minecraft game with my brand new house that I am building right here. It's not finished yet, and hopefully there will be no zombies that will come in. And just to make sure that there's no mobs that are coming for us, or for me, I will just stay here. Wait, shouldn't I place that? I don't even know where the front of the house is. Oh, I think it's there, yeah. Okay, so I guess we'll just wait. I'm going to explain a strange dream I had though once. So I came back from some sort of theater, but it was a theater where we were in a car and there were huge screens in front of us pretty much. And when we came back, I think I fell asleep somehow, and I fell asleep very rarely without taking some melatonin and such. So yeah, when I fell asleep, I dreamt of seeing me waking up, and I was on the ceiling or close by the ceiling. It was really weird to see myself just wake up like this. And afterwards, I remember nothing else. I don't remember waking up and going anywhere. It was a pretty weird dream. And I never had a dream like this ever again. I don't know if this was some sort of out-of-body experience, and don't you dare. I don't think this was some sort of out-of-body experience, but I guess I'll never know until I die. It's a mystery. Now you guys can talk to me on chat if you want, on the live chat, because I can see it now. We're gonna remove these because it's real ugly. Okay, so where am I gonna throw some of this? I'm gonna keep the diamonds. These are very important. I don't know if I need these cross-loud saplings. Maybe I could put them around the house to get more space. Yeah, okay, we have an iron pickaxe there that I found in a cave somewhere. And I have some torches, so I could place some around. One, two, three. There you go. Beautiful. Why am I getting these seeds? I don't even know what they're for. Whoops, I don't know why I paused the game there. I don't know what they're for. So yeah, if you don't know, this avatar is supposed to be Scott Clarkson. I don't know if I already told you that, but yeah. I might do another version later on. Maybe. No guys, I'm not going to cheat. I'm not going to change the night to day or anything like that. I don't even have the abilities to cheat. Like I could show you that I don't. Slash, oh, where's the slash, darn it? Oh, I guess that's it. Oh no, that's not the right slash. Oh, okay, got it. What the heck? First, okay. Don't know what to say about that. Help. Let's see here. I wanna see if I don't even know how to use this. What? Slash okay, well, whatever. I can't cheat. I deactivated them, so yeah, whatever. I don't know why I'm absolutely... I don't know why I don't know how to do it in the first place. Before I knew how to use it, and I haven't played for a while. Well, I mean, I have played in the previous live streams of Minecraft, but before that, I never played it, so yeah. There's a lot of new things. I do know about that, though. Hello, Rock Manut, aka Luke Smith. And welcome, Redstone Special. Wait a sec, somebody, okay, no, the game is hiding the chat, wait a minute, okay. I am making on Go Animate stuff, okay. As long as it's not, about other Go Animators, or, I mean, as long as you're not hating on other Go Animators and such, then it's fine. Show your creativity all around the internet, as long as it's not about harassment and such. That is what I was trying to say. Maybe I could just make a hole and dump all my stuff in here. Well, the stuff I don't need, that is. You need this web? Okay, this is almost dead, so I might as well throw it. What else could I throw away? It's important. And this side. I don't even know what that's for. Should I? No, not yet. Okay, that. It's almost dead. This. That's a sword, I'm gonna keep it. I don't know what that's for, so I'm gonna throw. Maybe it has an importance though. Bone. Okay, I still have some bones. I know I can throw that away. Arrow. Keep it. Go. I subscribe to you. Well, thank you very much. Thank you for subscribing. Oh, I can create some bone meal. Oh ho ho. Take some dirt blocks or something. Or not. Okay, I'll go for later on. Now I have more space here. Can I create a chest? Loom? What the heck is that? I need a chest, dude. I'm not even... Okay, there you go. What the heck? I wasn't even in the right place, so... What the heck? Where's the chest? Here it is. I got one. Dude, what the heck? Okay, let's put this here and there, and put these here, there. Sprouse. I don't know what this is, but I'm gonna keep it here. Pumpkins there. Some more stuff. That. Yeah, now we have spruce. Alright. Let's go ahead and plant these trees here. I subscribe him on Canadian Scat. Okay. I'm just going to here, there, here, and there. Some behind the house too, I guess. Oh. Well, I have 9 of them. What the heck? Okay, here we go. What? It already pushed? How did it go so fast? Okay, I wasn't... Okay, then. You know what? I don't think it's such a good idea to put them here, actually. They're way too close to the house. Can't do it. And it's not the wood I need either. I need the wood from the other trees. So let's go and let's get some wood. Do you make... What do you make on Go Animate? Well, I make Jackpo videos, commercial parodies, horror videos, pretty much all kinds of videos on Beyond. Darn it, I got none of it. I don't need these gosh darn... Ah, no. Okay, let's just keep going this way. I'm not getting closer to these guys. They are a bunch of raiders. Bad villagers. You know, I'm nothing to do with them. And... Thank you for that. Now I'm going to build a few ladders here to get up the house. Okay, I can create a furnace. I should create that immediately right now. There we go. Oh yeah, right. Darn, I almost forgot. Do you have to create a ladder? No. Do you like Angry Airy Gamer? Yes, I do actually. I don't even know when it will end, but we'll see. It might end real soon because he already has a lot of episodes. Oh, we need sticks for it. We need sticks. We need some sticks for this. Sticks. Okay, so he's going to make some. Oh. Okay, now wait a minute. Gotta go and get some more tree wood. Where's the darn axe? Okay, here we go. Pretty cool. Okay, let's keep going. I'm not getting a sapling. What was that? I think it was a set, yeah. Do your YouTube channel all the backing time? I didn't understand the question, I'm sorry. Unfortunately, I didn't understand that one. Let's get the sticks now. I need 4 of them. I think we need more of them. Yes, do. Now let's make these darn ladders. place them here. Cool, I have enough. Oh, what? We don't even need these here. Okay. Okay, I have a few more wood, which I can make more with it. Let's keep the others for later. Okay, come on, more ladder, please. Ah, yeah, right. We need more sticks. First off. Ugh. Okay, let's go to the ladders. Button. Alright, more of it. Put it here. And right, here we go. Now we can keep building this house. Beautiful. Alright. It's time to make the ceiling. Shoot. Alright, subscribe me. I haven't watched your videos yet, but I may actually watch them later on. And maybe I'll subscribe. No. As for this, here we go. Still need some pots here. Oh shoot. I am starving. Oh, darn it. Get over here. There you go. Tomorrow I am making Go Animate videos. Alright. Now I gotta go get the food, which is actually right here. Done. Alright. Ah, what the... What the heck happened there? I'm taking different wood to fill the floor with something else, because this is disgusting. There it is. This is going pretty well now, which is good. Why is Jack Paul video? Because Jack Paul is still popular in my fan base. Well, for some of my fans, of course. And also, I don't think I'll ever be able to give up on the character or stop making videos on the character, because he's pretty much one of the first characters I ever created, Jack Paul, and he's one of the funniest too. So I'm not giving it up. So I'm not giving up on him anytime soon either. Ah, that's beautiful. Okay. Disliked it to Bob Paul. Okay. Oh no! Oh darn it! I was about to go and find some sheep. I guess they can't now. Okay, can we make some armor or something? Holy frick! Okay, no, I'm going to wait until I get more diamonds, cause I'm sure this will take away all my diamonds if I choose any of these, and I won't be able to choose any others. Oh, what? Can you make a few? You know what I will do? I'll do this. Put this in, and I have to okay, here you go. And burn them. I mean, Bob Paul, he is the prankster of the Jack Paul family, and you all know this. And also, he makes pretty terrible games just to troll people. That's pretty much the reason why he's making such terrible games in the first place. And also because it's popular, you know. This my video card, GeForce RTX 2018. I don't know what a video card is, I'm sorry. Not an expert on that. And yes, beautiful. Sword. Bam. Put it out there. And that's pretty much all I have for the iron items. I have to find some more iron afterwards. Oh, look, stick. Why you like voice on Caillou.exe? What? What? What do you mean? I never said that I like Caillou.exe's voice. It sounds a little too demonic, but you know, that's the character, he is demonic, so it makes sense. Can we create windows now, or glass or something? Glass is important to see what's outside. Iron nugget. I don't know what that's for. Stone. Iron shovel. What's that? What? I have no idea what these are. And I gotta get back inside in case. Oh shoot, he saw me. There you go. If you dare enter my house, you're going to get my iron... I don't know what I was going to say. My Iron Fury! That's what I was going to say. Okay, so yeah, windows and stuff. I guess I didn't unlock it yet. Gosh darn it. Well, I guess we'll have to wait until we get it. I'm sure that the iron door takes a lot. Do you like peoples on Go Animators? Yes, I do like Go Animators, depending on the Go Animators, of course. I also especially like the ones who make how can I say? I also like the ones who make original content instead of grounded videos and harassment videos and all this kinds of stuff. Like Canadian Scout, for an example. I do like him. He is a pretty good Go Animator. He has grown so much throughout all these years. Where will I put the... Oh, almost got... almost accidentally got hit by that spider. Oh! What? Alright, can climb on ceilings. I don't know who that YouTuber is. Okay, it's on my roof, so it's not a big deal. Do I have a bed somewhere? No. Okay. I only have one white room at the moment. Come on. What the heck? Do you want to attack me or not? What are you doing? It's damaging itself. I don't know where it is anymore. It's just being weird. Do you like Caillou characters? I mean, I don't know. What? How much cobblestone do I have? I mean, Caillou is a kid's show. I did watch it, but now I don't really like it anymore because, as I said, it's a kid's show. And also, I didn't know that Caillou had such a big hate base, or had so many haters that hated the show in the first place. There was a creeper there, so whoop, I'm on the ceiling. Oh, what? Hey! Get over here. What is it doing? It's just jumping off my house. I meant. Like, look at all this cobblestone. Why do I have so much of it? Okay, morning is up. Let's find some sheep. Get up. Oh, there's a spider here. Get off, freaks! It's my house! Thank you. Alright. Okay, so what I'm searching for now is sheep, yes. Oh, look, horses! Reminds me of Jorgen. If you haven't watched PewDiePie's gameplay, then you probably won't get that reference. Alright. Ah, I can create armor with that. Oh! I forgot. I completely forgot about that. Cool, but these aren't sheep at all. I don't want to kill the horses though. Still no sheep. What? Why? Where did the sheep go? Oh, there's a village there. I'm gonna go there later on. Sorry. Let's keep searching. Probably need to find a sheep somewhere. Ha! Here they are! You cannot escape me now as I got you targeted. Oh, thank you. Sorry, I didn't want to beat out that other one. And you know what? Maybe I can create a shear for later on. Oh well, I'm going to kill him anyways. And now we have enough for a bed. Well, we should have enough for a bed. For survival purposes, I must get this one, just in case. Do you making music? Yes, I actually do make music, and all my music is on my SoundCloud account, which is actually linked on my account page. If you guys want to check that out, then you can. Let's create that long-awaited bed. Here we go. Great. Actually, it's not a very good placement. Let's see here. Boom. There you go. Now, you know what? I should place it in a different room. For that, I'll have to get some more trees. Oak trees. So let me take these and place them in front of the house. One here, one there. There we go. Oh yeah, right. And also I want to make a farm here. So, let's see here. Okay, not there, because I'm going to build another room there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'll have to place some water around here at some point. I should also build some fences if I can. I guess I cannot yet, so yeah, we'll go for that. And alright, did I cook something in here? Yes, I did. Everything is A-okay. Okay, over there are some caves, so I could go there. Shoot. Do I have the... I do, okay. Oh, shoot. How am I not lose my house. Okay, see you tomorrow. Bye. Goodbye. Now I just gotta... trying to place a tower here just so that I can see my... see it. Oops. I should be able to see it, I think. Hopefully. There's some coal there. Maybe I could grab some even though I already have billions of them. And I mean a lot of them. No, I should have said go to the top. Oh, whoops. Where's my axe? I had an axe here. Now it's gone. I guess I just set it into a chest, didn't even realize it. Wow, there's a lot, and I mean a lot of gold here. But that's not what I need right now. I need some iron. To make some more items. Oh, we have some llamas over there. Okay, we could build some sort of mine shaft here. Or maybe not. You know what? Yeah, sure, let's do it. Oh no. Here. There's some more coal here. Well, let's just keep going in, and let's wait to shoot. What? Wait to give me this lot of space. Okay, here we go. Continue building. I mean, continue digging. I meant. Okay, here they are. Frick, really? This is no stroke of luck at all. I am not getting into any caves right now. I think I may be getting close to one though. Okay, as night is coming, I'm going to go and hurry the heck up into my house. Oh! Gosh darn tree. Okay, it's right here. So I should be able to go there without any problems. If there's no skeletons around it, I should be fine. And there's a skeleton right here. I might be dead. I might be dead. Nope, never mind. I'm not dead. Oh my gosh, they're everywhere. Go! Whoa, whoa, whoa! Hey, 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 hey! Hey, don't. Don't, okay? Don't. Don't. Don't, okay. Ah! Okay, I guess I will have to place this somewhere here. What? I can't sleep! Darn it! Okay, good. Now I can sleep. While holding my sword for some reason. Alright. Now I'm wide awake. Awake, I mean. Where are the trees I just put? Trees, trees. Let's place this in. Is this the front or the back? This is the back, okay. No, darn it. Why? These gosh darn creepers! What? It was morning! Oh, God! Jeez! Okay, I'm not getting outside then. Oh, gosh. Oak plant. Oh, I don't have enough for that. Okay, well that is terrible. Really bad. Good I didn't destroy the rest of my house. Hey, why does it keep jumping like this? Alright, thank you. Okay, I gotta watch out for creepers because for some reason they're still here in the morning. Creepers could literally ruin your whole gameplay if they just team up on you and blow everything you make. And if they blow up your bed, there's no respawning at your house, so that sucks even more. Let's go dig some more. Actually, maybe I should dig closer to my house now. Oh wait, there is a cave here, dude. Oh. Okay, sure. I'll take this to my advantage and I'll get down there. Oh! Well, such a good idea. Never mind, it's not even a cave. It's one of these again, my goodness. Ay, 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 ay. Okay. Yeah, you know what? To make it less risky, I'm going to try and dig near my house. I just keep getting damaged. I thought it was a creeper there that freaked me out. Why are there no wolves? Like, I want a companion. Maybe there's gunpowder down here because there was a creep. No? Okay, I guess not. Let's take an iron shovel and let's start digging. Let's dig here. Dig, 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 dig. Dig. Wait, do I have... I don't have any torches? Oh no, I do, I have 3. Thank goodness. If you guys have any knowledge on Minecraft, then don't be afraid to tell me, because I'm sure that's going to be very useful if you have any information on certain items and certain techniques. So yeah. What? My iron pickaxe is already almost dead. Well done. Keep adding into it. Haha! Yes! Down here so that I could get a few more. Get up there. Hopefully I'm not going to get killed by lava. Alright, we did it. We got a few more iron. Oops, I didn't want to get that. Just to add a little bit more space. I don't need all this cobblestone. This? Okay, good. Now we can get back. Ah, darn it. Everything is blocking me. There we go. Okay. Let's smelt some of these iron, whatever they're called. I don't even know. I can't even spell. What the heck? I can't even speak anymore. Alright. I'm gonna have so much iron at the end of this. Hey. Oh, is it? Oh yeah, it's cooked. Okay, that's cooked. Cool, 7. That's a lot. Oh wait, I think I know how to make glass. Ah, I think I remember now. I heard this from one of PewDiePie's videos. I think we have to heat some sand. Yes, okay, excellent. Thank you. Okay, maybe, I don't know where to place it. Okay, let's place it here. No. No. Let's place it here instead. Is it 1, 2? So it's supposed to be here, right? No, wait. It's 1, 2. Okay, yeah, it's definitely supposed to be here. Nice, very nice. Oh wait, there's going to be a room here, so it's not necessary to have it. And I think I just wasted some glass. I thought I was able to get it back, but I guess not. Sleep. Acquire hardware. Alright. Okay, so the last part of this live stream is going to be me ending the room where I'm going to insert the bed into. So for that, you need an axe, and we don't have an axe. We have some shears here. I do need. Oh, okay. Well, let's take it anyways. Let's see here. What do we need for that? Oh, block of iron. Alright. Polish or diorite? I don't know that one, so it must be a new block. Okay, yeah, now I'm supposed to finish this one. What? Oh, you're right. I have to go get it first. Okay, well, before that, I'm going to try and get. I know I'm not even the right one again. Get some leggings. That's a lot. So let's start with this one. I only have 2 left. Oh, cord. Goodness gracious. Okay, I'm just going to put this one on. Got some more saplings, thank you. Dun, 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 dun. Yes, thank you. Thank you again. Sticks, yes. Yes, please. Yes, please. I'm full. Great. Oh no, what's that? Here. Let's get back in and let's finish this by adding some more of these. And I mean, oops. There we go. Oh, alright. I do have some dirt that I could replace here. For the time being. How much iron do I have left? Okay. The sword is still here. I have the iron shovel. What do I not have? Isn't there an iron axe somewhere? Like, what? Where's the iron axe? Oh, shoot. And 3 of them and 2 sticks. Okay. I have a lot of saplings here, so I could place these. It's also good that these songs are not subject to copyrighted material, because if it were, then I'm sure that I would have received a lot of copyright warnings from different companies. Oh wait, can I create a saddle? Oh, I haven't tested it out yet. We're going to do that next episode. Right. Oh yeah, buckets. Maybe I should check out how to make buckets before ending this episode. So, how do you... buckets, yes. Okay, we need 3 iron ingots. Alright. They despawned. Oh. Okay, so let's keep throwing stuff up. Throw this out. This goes out because I already had that. Maybe I could create multiple chests for different things, exactly like I thought in the first place. Granite. I can make some stairs with granite. So now we have way more stuff here. Get this and that. That may take a lot. Wow, okay. What does this take? Okay. This is 2 string, 1 tripwire hook. I don't know where I'm gonna find that or how I'm gonna create one. And the iron ingot. Okay. So I gotta find a way to create a tripwire to make this. And I can create a tripwire. So with that, we have our first bow type of weapon. I don't know how it's called. Where's the weapon at? I think it's over here. What? Darn it! I guess I don't have everything in. 2 strings, so I thought I had 2 strings. I do, okay. Take these in. No, that should be enough. There we go! Excellent! We got a crossbow now. Yeah. Okay, I decided on my choice, I think. This is going to be for the weapons. I have to throw all these away because I don't need it. Go away, go away, go away. Be able to build another one later on. And I'll keep these. I'll keep the food. Stone axe can get in the thing. Okay, let's see here. I'm going to try and place them in order here. Rock with rock and such. Iron. 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 Wood and wood and wood. Are there any other wood items? No? Okay. There you go. And this can now be thrown away because there's too many of them. Pumpkin in the side. I'm gonna keep this for later. And this here. Now I think we're pretty much done, except that I want to make myself another chest here for the food instead. Can I? Oh, trap chest. That's not what I want. I want the original chest. Okay, I can't. Okay, Now I should be able to create a chest. These are all the weapons. Let's add it here. And this is all the food. Cooked mouton and some chicken right here. Oh wait, I forgot to add the arrows in that other one. I don't know where I should place these ones though, so I'm gonna put it in miscellaneous. This one is going in rock. So there you go. Everything is in order. Okay, thank you guys very much for watching, and we'll see you next time! Thank goodness that this time I was lucky and I didn't get killed by any creepers or anything like that.